again. I'm so glad you're here. Make sure that you have your pencil and your workspace book so that you're ready for today.
What do you need to be ready to learn? You should have a pencil and your workspace book for all videos. You have access to online tools, which include manipulatives like number cubes and games. You received directions for how to access these when you picked up your supplies. If you have questions, contact your teacher at your school. Your parents can reach out to your teacher by email or through your student team's account.
Yesterday, we learned about using open number lines to subtract from multiples of 10. Today, we're going to learn how we can use open number lines to subtract from other numbers. Let's do a quick review. Here we have 30 minus 6, very similar to the problems we saw yesterday. To solve 30 minus 6, we first think about the problem 10 minus 6. Now, we know that 10 minus 6 equals 4. The pattern we used yesterday tells us that when we're subtracting from a multiple of 10, like 30, and we're subtracting the same number, here 6, then our ones place is going to end in that number that is the answer for this one. So 10 minus 6 is 4, so my number here is going to end in 4. The pattern we learned yesterday tells us that the tens place for our answer is going to be 1 less than the tens place of the number we started with. We're starting with 3 tens, so our answer will have 2 tens. So our answer would be 24. 30 minus 6 equals 24. You would represent that on an open number line by starting with the number at the beginning of your equation, which is 30. Because we're subtracting, we're going to draw our arrow backwards. We are taking away 6. And on the other side goes my answer, which is 24. That's what we did yesterday with open number lines. Today, we're going to do this with a little bit more complex numbers. Let's take a look at this equation. This equation says 52 minus 7, and we have to find the answer. We've practiced equations that would start 50 minus 7, but not 52. For equations like this, we're going to want to make 2 jumps with our number line. But before we think about those 2 jumps, we need to answer the first question on the chart. Where do I start? Well, just like with single jump number lines, we're going to start with the first number in our equation, which is 52. Next, I want to ask myself, what jumps do I make? Well, a good first jump would be to get to a nice easy number, preferably a multiple of 10. So my next multiple of 10, I need to go down because I'm subtracting. My next multiple of 10 would be 50. What would my jump be to get from 52 to 50? I'm going to draw my arrow this way to the left because I'm going backwards. I'm subtracting. So I know I'm subtracting. Well, how many did I take away? To get from 52 to 50, I took away 2. I can represent this with an equation. 52 minus 2 equals 50. But I've only subtracted 2. I need to subtract 7. How big of a jump do I need to make to subtract 7 if I've already gone back 2? 2 plus what other number makes 7? 5. If I take away 5 more, minus 2 and a minus 5 would be equal to my minus 7. So I'm going to take away 5 more from 50. Now, we can use our strategy of 10 minus 5 equals 5 to help us if we get stuck. If 10 minus 5 is 5, 50 minus 5 is also going to end in 5. And my tens place would be 1 less than what I start with. So I should have 45. And indeed, 50 minus 5 is 45. I would write that equation over here. 50 minus 5 is 45. Now, I have shown a jump of 2, a jump of 5. 5 and 2 make 7, and I've subtracted. So 52 minus 7 is going to be 45. And there you have it. I've solved it. I've also shown my double jump on my open number line, and I've represented it with multiple equations. Great job. Remember, you can always use this chart to help. Where do I start? With the number at the beginning of my equation. What jumps do I make? Here I made a -2 jump and a -5 jump. Where do I end up? I didn't answer this one yet. Well, where did I end up? I ended up at 45, which was my answer. So we're all done.
I have a question. How do I know what jumps to make?
That is a good question, Colby. Well, the first jump you want to make is always to the next 10 down from your number. So in our problem, we started with 52. The next 10 down is 50. We go down to the next 10 because we're subtracting, so we need less.
Oh, so if I started with 65 and need to subtract 6, my first jump would be to 60.
Right. And then you would figure out how many more you would need to go to take away the full 6. You said we were doing 65 minus 6. So you said the next 10 down would be 60. So we started at 65, we would go to 60. That would be -5. Then we would need to figure out our second jump. If I'm taking away 6 and I've only taken away 5, how much more do I need to go? Well, 5 plus 1 more would be the full 6, so I would subtract 1 more, which would be 59. Now you've subtracted the full 6.
Do I always need to go to the next 10 down?
No, actually, this strategy is great when you have to subtract beyond the 10s you start with. What I mean is if you were to start with, let's see, if you were to start with 67, but you only needed to take away 3, to go all the way down from 67 to 60 would mean taking away 7, and that would be too many. You don't need to go that far. So for those kinds of equations, you just need to think about 7 minus 3, which would be 4, and your answer would be 64. You will need to go to the next 10 anytime the number you're subtracting is bigger than the ones place of the number you're subtracting from. Here the number I'm subtracting is smaller.
Oh, like 72 minus 8, because the 8 I'm taking away is bigger than the 2 in 72.
Right.
Let's do some more.
Let's take a break first. We've done so much thinking.
Ooh, goody goody. Can I lead the brain break?
Sure. What do you have in mind?
Well, sometimes a good brain break is a good laugh. Yeah, let's have some jokes. I heard some good jokes from the other dogs last time we went for a walk. It'll be so much fun. Are you ready? Okay. Why is a tree like a big dog? They both have a lot of bark. What dog keeps the best time? A watchdog.
Turn to page 5 in your workspace book. We are going to look at the directions for page 5. The directions say, draw an open number line to solve the problem, write equations to solve the problem, write the answer in the subtraction equation. We're going to practice this on this page together. Have your pencil ready. Number 1 says 75 minus 8. To start my open number line, I write 75. Then I need to think about my first jump. Well, I need to go to the nearest 10 down because I'm subtracting, so that would be 70. My first jump is going to be backwards because I'm subtracting. What do I subtract from 75 to get to 70? Right, minus 5. I need to write this equation down to show my work. The first equation I did as part of my open number line was 75 minus 5 equals 70. Now I'm ready to think about my next jump. I've subtracted 5, but I need to subtract 8. How many more do I need to take away to subtract a total of 8? Well, 5 and what make 8? 3. So my next jump backwards is going to be minus 3. 3 and 5 make 8, so if I subtract another 3 after the 5, I'll have subtracted a total of 8. Well, now I've got to think, what is 70 minus 3? 67. My next step is to record my second equation that I represented on my open number line. My second equation is 70 minus 3 equals 67. I've now subtracted my whole 8. I just did it in 2 jumps. So the answer to the problem is 67. Okay. Let's look at number 2. 85 minus 6. To start my open number line, I need to write down 85. Then I need to think about my first jump. I'm subtracting, so I need to go to the next nearest 10 down, which would be 80. Okay. My first jump from 85 to 80 is backwards because I'm going down. I'm subtracting. How much do I subtract from 85 to get to 80? Right, minus 5. Go ahead and write that down. Now we need to record that equation. What equation fits our number line that we just completed? That's right, 85 minus 5 equals 80. Go ahead and write that down. After you write it down, think about, what is my next jump going to be? I've already subtracted 5, but I need to subtract 6. How many more do I need to take away? I need to take away 1 more, because 5 and 1 make 6. Write that down and think about, what is 80 minus 1 more? If you're stuck, remember that you can think about 10 minus 1 to help you solve 80 minus 1. 10 minus 1 is 9. So I know my answer is going to end in a 9, and we know that handy dandy pattern tells us that we need 1 10 less. So 80 minus 1 is 79. Last 2 steps here, we need to write out our equation and then fill in our answer. The second equation we solved was 80 minus 1 equals 79. And we just need to fill in that 79 for our answer. Okay. You will complete page 6 on your own. You will check it with your teacher. We're going to take a quick brain break. That was a lot of thinking and hard work. Thank you. For our brain break, we're going to run in place for 30 seconds. So go ahead, stand up. Are you ready? On your marks, get set, run in place. Keep going. Whoa, you're going so fast. 20 seconds left. Keep those legs moving. Oh goodness, I wouldn't want to be in a race with you. You'd win. Oh, you're You're getting close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. Take a breath. Okay. Now for our brain break, we're going to sit perfectly still for 30 seconds, like a statue. If you want, you can do it in a funny position. Or if you want to take a break after all that hard running, I know I would. I would want to sit and be calm and relaxed for it. So I'm going to find a nice comfy position. Are you ready? Perfectly still for 30 seconds, but don't forget to breathe. Here we go. Starting now. I like to take deep breaths while I sit perfectly still. About halfway there. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Great job. We're going to turn to page 61. We've learned a lot of new words and we want to make sure that we write them down. So go ahead and open up your workbook page to page 61. Make sure you have your pencil ready. Okay, 61, math vocabulary. We're going to write the words for our math vocabulary on this page. Your first word you're going to write is subtract. We've been doing a lot of subtracting. Let's talk about what subtracting means. Subtracting is what you do when you solve a subtraction problem, such as 5 minus 3. Okay, your next word is subtraction. Subtraction is what you do when you subtract. Our third word, it's actually two words together, is subtraction equation. A subtraction equation is a number sentence that has two sides separated by an equal sign. Here's an example. 5 minus 3 equals 2. Go ahead and write down that example for us. In this example, we have 5 minus 3 on one side of the equal sign and 2 on the other. Okay, only 2 more words to write down. Are you ready? First word is minus. After you write the word, we're going to draw an arrow to the minus sign there. The minus sign is what tells us that we are subtracting. Last word, difference. The difference is what we call the answer to a subtraction problem. So go ahead and draw an arrow to the 2 because the 2 is the answer to 5 minus 3. 2 is the difference of 5 minus 3. We use the word difference because it's more specific than answer. Sometimes a question might ask you to find the difference between two numbers, and that's a clue word that says you're going to be subtracting. Okay, that's enough vocabulary for today. So if you've got all that written down, we're going to go ahead and start our next activity. Please turn to page 8. Today we're going to learn how to play a game. The game is called 6 Rolls. You can play by yourself or with a partner. The directions for the game are on page 8, so you will have them later when you're playing by yourself or with a partner. We're going to go over them now. Players will take turns if you're playing with a partner. If not, you just play through each roll without switching. You're going to start with the number 50. Player A rolls the number cube and records it in the table. You can see in the example for number 1, a 7 was rolled, so they wrote down the 7. Then you subtract from 50 the number that you rolled using an open number line and write the equation. If you were going to be playing with a partner, this is where you would trade turns. On your second turn, you roll the number cube again, and you subtract the new number from the number you had as your answer for the previous equation. So for this example, player A first did 50 minus 7 equals 43. And for their second roll, they got a 5, so they subtracted 5 from 43 and had 38. The answer for each turn is the starting number for the next turn. The player with the final score closest to 0 wins. You can play this game at home with a number cube if you received one from your school. This is different than a dice. A dice has numbers 1 through 6. The number cubes used for this game have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on them. If you do not have a number cube from school, that's okay because you can play online. The number cubes are available there and you will have access to all of those online tools. You should have also received directions for how to access those online tools when you picked up your workspace book and computer. Okay. We're going to turn to page 7 now, and we're going to do a practice round of this game. For the practice round, all my rolls have been done already, and they are on the left side of the screen here. For this game, we start at 50. So I'm going to start by writing my 50 for my open number line. Roll 1, I rolled a 7. So I need to take away 7. 50 minus 7. If that's difficult to think about, remember you can always use 10 minus 7 to help you. 10 minus 7 equals 3. So 50 minus 7 would be 43. Go ahead and write down that for your open number line for this practice round. The last step for this turn would be to write down the equation. 50 minus 7 equals 43. For roll 2, I'm going to use my answer from my first round. The answer for the first round was 43. So I start my equation with 43 for the second round because I want to get as close to 0 as I can. Okay. Roll 2, I rolled a 5. I'm going to do this in 2 jumps because I want to get to an easy 10 and then I'll go the second jump. So I want to go to the next 10 down from 43 because I'm subtracting. So that would be 40. To get from 43 to 40, I have to take away 3. So I write that for my number line. 43 minus 3 is 40. Now I have to take away a total of 5 because I rolled a 5. Well, how many more do I need to take away to get to taking away a total of 5? I've already taken away 3, so I need to take away 2 more. 40 minus 2. 10 minus 2 is 8. So 40 minus 2 is 38. Now all I have to do is write my equation. Well, I started at 43, I subtracted 5, my answer was 38. Jot that down. For my next turn, I'm going to start with 38 because that was my answer. I rolled a 9. That's a lot to subtract. I think I'm going to do this in 2 jumps again. 38 minus what to get to my next 10 down? Well, I'm going to 30, so 38 minus 8 is 30. Okay, that was a big jump too. I need to take away 9. I've already taken away 8, so I need to take 1 more because 8 plus 1 is 9. So my next jump is minus 1. 30 minus 1 is 29. So I write that down for my open number line. The last step for roll 3 is just to write the equation. Remember, this is the full equation that I did. I started with 38 minus 9, and then I equaled 29. Okay, you ready for roll 4? Roll 4, I rolled a 4. That's a funny coincidence. Okay, I start with 29 because that was the answer to my last equation. I think I can do this in one jump. 29 minus 4 equals, got it, 25. And then I write that equation. That was an easier round because it only had one jump. 29 minus 4 equals 25. I'll give you a moment to write that down. Okay. Roll 5. I'm starting with my answer, which was 25. I rolled a 7. Well, 7 is more than 5, so this is a 2 jumper. So my next 10 down from 25 is 20. So I'm going to subtract 5 to get to 20. So I draw my arrow back, minus 5 equals 20. I've taken away 5, but I need to take away a total of 7. 5 and 2 make 7. So I'm going to take away 2 more. 20 minus 2. 10 minus 2 is 8, so 20 minus 2 is 18. And then my last step, that's right, I have to write my equation. 25 minus 7 equals 18. Are you ready for the last roll? I rolled a 4. I'm starting with 18. I'm only subtracting 4. I can do that in one jump. 18 minus 4 equals 14. Awesome, I made it all the way down to 14. Oops, I forgot to write my equation. 18 minus 4 equals 14. Wow, that was a lot of subtracting. I need to remember to record my final score. Remember, you're going to play this at home. You can play by yourself. You can play with a partner, a brother, a sister, mom, dad, aunt, uncle. You could play against your stuffed animal, or you can try and play against me. You could try to beat the score of 14, see if you can get even lower. Okay. You're going to record your turns on page 9. If you're playing by yourself, you can just do player A. If you're playing with a sibling, a brother, a sister, a cousin, a friend, you can record their answers for player B. Or you can play yourself twice. Or if you have a teddy bear you want to play with, you can make your teddy bear player B. But you might have to help them write. Okay.